Most people who are on really strict diets, they're not enjoying their diet. MediterrAsian is how I tell people I actually eat. Absolutely delicious way of eating.
MediterrAsian, what is that?
We've known for a long time unhealthy diets are linked to a higher risk of colorectal cancer, specifically processed meats. People who only eat meat, only eat carnivore diet, don't con me.
People need to wake up and watch this episode.
Hi everyone, this is Klaus from Plant-Based News. I'm with
Sarah.
Shabnam.
Guys, I found a really interesting video from Dr. William Li. So I don't know if either of you aware of the Diary of a CEO podcast?
Yes, love it.
Love it.
And I've seen this episode.
This guy just sprinkles some fascinating clips into the mix. So yeah, let's have a watch.
What are the things that turn off the smoke alarm in your house, that unlock the doors?
Can I take a guess? Is it this?
Okay, now, I know the answer that you're setting this conversation up for, which is a burger with meat. Is that actually disease-causing? And I would tell you that yes and no. A burger is something that many people enjoy eating, and I would say eating meat, eating burgers, even eating ultra-processed foods once in a while is not going to harm you if your health defenses are naturally strong. But if you make it a habit, a regular habit of eating this at the expense of eating healthier foods, more plant-based foods, less processed foods, okay, you are actually going to tip your odds where the diseases are more likely to get you. What that means is that overeating fast foods like burgers will actually contribute to taking your health defenses down, shields down. It turns out that we've known for a long time that unhealthy diets are linked to a higher risk of colorectal cancer, specifically processed meats. So the World Health Organization considers processed meats, salami, bologna, ultra-processed, kind of deli meats, delicatessen meats you find in delicatessen. All right, those would be considered carcinogens, and they are highly linked to an increased risk of bowel cancers. Now, why would that be? Well, it turns out that, think about it, if you're eating a ton of meat, all right, you're actually exposing the gut to a lot of those processed meat carcinogens that when it sits around in your colon, not once in a while, go to the ball game, have a hot dog, enjoy yourself. But if you eat it day in and day out, you're giving a lot of exposure to your gut.
I mean, I think we're seeing the research show that colon cancer is now becoming one of the fastest leading causes of cancer in both women and men under the age of 50, particularly in the United States. And what we have seen in the research literature that this isn't genetics that is causing or being correlated to this type of cancer. What we're finding is that it is the epigenetics, the lifestyle factors, what people are eating, how they're living, that is contributing to this. So it is really nice to see this get a lot of media attention in ways that it should.
Eating foods like artichokes or strawberries or soy can actually help your body prevent extra blood vessels from growing towards cancer, for example, and other disease tissues, but it will not override the body's natural ability to get the right amount of blood vessels to the right tissue. So you don't have to worry about starving your healthy tissues. You're just cutting off the bad blood vessels of the tissue. I call it like a landscaper on a golf course that breaks out the lawnmower to mow that the golf course so it's got a perfect level of the lawn. You're not going to actually carve out a bald spot in a country club. You're going to get just the right amount.
So what is your diet of preference then? There's so many different diets that people speak about when they talk about cancer and other chronic diseases. As I think I said to you beforehand, I'm on an extremely low carb diet, which is like verges on keto, but I kind of bounce in and out of ketosis. What do you think of? Let's start with the ketogenic diet. Do you have a view on that kind of diet?
Yeah. So let me just give you my perspective on diets. Lots of different diets out there. They're all designed with kind of a specific perspective and a particular goal in mind. Oftentimes, diet, whether you're talking about South Beach or keto or carnivore or vegan, they're all designed to achieve a certain kind of goal. Most of them are very, very difficult to maintain for a long period of time. Now, people are vegans and vegetarians, and that's something that, because of the diversity of the food that you can actually maintain that. But if you're only doing pure keto, that's very difficult to do. So most popular trending diets are short-lived, short-term solutions, and they'll kind of force your body to do something. All right, but you can't keep it up. And so a diet that you can't keep up isn't, to me, a very practical diet, because you're going to bursts of activity that you just can't do your whole life. It's much more healthy in the long run if you can find a sustainable way of eating that works for you personally, that you can maintain, and that you're going to enjoy your life as well. Most people who are on really strict diets, they're not enjoying their diet. Like people who only eat carnivore diet or only eat raw food. Listen, don't con me. You can't be enjoying eating raw food, your entire life, navigating through society and seeing other people, eat a big steaming plate of pasta or something, or going to a Chinese restaurant. So what I'm saying is that trending diets are well-intentioned. They often are designed to do one thing, but you can't keep it up. So it doesn't really, at the end of the day, contribute to the ultimate goal. What I prefer, and where I think the science takes us, where the next frontier for like lifetime health, is tearing a page from the playbook of some of the healthiest cuisines in the world. And I would say Mediterranean is the hotbed, the crucible of a lot of healthy diets. Not just the blue zones, I think, but there are blue zones in the Mediterranean. Also Asia. There's a blue zone in Asia as well. But, look, there's also a blue zone in Latin America. If you take a look at the common denominator of what's going on in the Mediterranean and Asia, is a very healthy, plant-forward, fresh, seasonal, healthy cooking oils, healthy preparation style, absolutely delicious way of eating. I mean, come on. If I were to take you to a Mediterranean restaurant or to an Asian restaurant, I would find it hard to believe that you and I opening the menu couldn't find something that we would enjoy eating, right? Mm-hmm. So MediterrAsian is how I tell people I actually eat. That's my quote diet.
Here's a summary of Dr. Lee's top tips. So number 1, drink 3 to 4 cups of coffee or tea daily to boost immune patrol. Number 2, eat a number of superfoods every week, including a handful of tree nuts, half a cup of cooked tomatoes, half a cup of berries, and generous servings of leafy greens. Swap out plastic cups for glass or loose leaf teas to avoid microplastics. Fast for over 12 hours a day. So basically eat dinner by 8 p.m. and then wait an hour after waking up to eat. Activate brown fat with cold showers, which is kind of interesting. Manage stress with short micro breaks. Prioritize 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night. And if needed, top off with vitamin D, omega-3s, and targeted probiotics.
Great.
MediterrAsian, what is that?
He combines what we kind of know are two very popular diets known to be healthy and known to be good for longevity, the Mediterranean diet and the Asian diet.
What he's really saying is he's highlighting specific ingredients, possibly cooking techniques that not only naturally reduce carbon footprint, so we're talking about sustainability, but also health impacts here. So I think this is a scaffolded layer of many things of MediterrAsian. I do need to research this more. But what I do see from Dr. Lee's perspective is that this really creates a best of both worlds framing that I think has an opportunity to overcome resistance to these specific types of dietary changes.
And I think longevity is what we're really talking about. The blue zones, the whole point of them is that they have the longest living people in the world. And the diet that they're eating is plant predominant, which he did sort of lean towards saying.
I need to start promoting what he's promoting. I feel like I'm too simplistic in a negative way. So I will say stuff like, oh, just don't have processed food and don't have salt and don't have sugar and don't have animal products. Whereas he's like, activate brown tissue burning fuel through pomegranates and have half a cup of cooked tomatoes and daily berry superfoods and matcha green or only to maximize immune patrol and all this stuff. I'm like, God, what am I getting wrong? I need to do this.
So basically, in the research, he said that there is a new type of therapy, which is called immunotherapy, which they're doing in replacement for chemotherapy. But there are certain people that it works really well on and other people it didn't work so well on. And so they studied all the people across however many years of doing this immunotherapy to see what it was that helped people to respond well to the immunotherapy. And what it was one type of bacteria, I think, called Akkermansia. And he basically said it, you can get it from certain things like pomegranate. So the people that had that bacteria in their gut were responding to the immunotherapy and removing the cancer completely, which is insane. So the things that can give you the Akkermansia bacteria are pomegranate was correct, cranberry, Concord grape juice, black Chinese vinegar. He said when you go for like dim sum, you would get black Chinese vinegar that apparently also contains it, and chili peppers, certain types of chili peppers. So
I think what Dr. Lee does do well for behavior change is he talks about inclusion of foods. Include this. Eat this, cook this way. And I think that is more inviting to people in the sense of like, oh, he's not telling me what to take out. He's telling me what to add in.
Yeah. And you're so right. Like if people feel like things are being taken away from them, they resist. Whereas if they're like, here's all this stuff you're going to gain, you're going to get all these new things and you're going to love it, then people feel way more like encouraged and kind of like empowered to want to do it. So
one of the comments under the video, it's got over 1,000 likes. Bought his book while undergoing breast cancer treatment. One of my tumors shrank with 50% by itself. My body took out 50% of 3 centimeter tumor in 3 weeks before surgery. I recommend reading his book. Cool. Another one says, as someone with a nutrition degree, most people don't realize the power of food. It's nature's medicine. Food is medicine, and food is prevention at its finest. What do you think of the idea that food is medicine? I feel like maybe 10 years ago, a lot of people would say it, but now people are saying, oh, you got to be so careful saying it's medicine. What do you think? Where's the pendulum swinging too far? Which way?
We have taken away the naturalistic ability for food to heal us. And we've done that in many ways with contemporary farming, right? Monocropping, soil degradation. And now we are at a point where if we do eat particular things, it could be detrimental. It is like taking poison to our bodies. So I think it is imperative to be knowledgeable about what we're putting in our human system, right? Understanding your food system. Where is your food coming from? At this point, we tend to do things so mindlessly. How oftentimes are we snacking while simultaneously sending an email or driving a car? Food used to be a place where historically communities of people have come together to break bread, as we may say, right? It goes over conversation. A lot of food is spent time cooking together. And that usually takes hours if you're taking whole food, plant-based, and you're turning it into this 5-course meal that you're going to be sharing with friends and family. We need to get back to the basics of what it is to eat and grow and be present with our food system. I think if we start to take those steps, food is medicine. When we don't take those steps and we go for the quick reach, food is poison.
Food is medicine. I agree. I think maybe there was some people that made certain claims about food being able to reverse certain diseases, and then there was a lot of pushback on that. And so a lot of people making content around how food is not actually medicine. But I think it's, in my opinion, it gets the message across most effectively by being able to say, yeah, food can be medicine, and our current conventional medical system also can be medicine.
Yeah.
It's not one thing or the other. And what we find is that depending on the individual, depending on the sickness, depending on a multitude of factors, that we need to take a multifactorial approach to healing the human body.
Did you two notice his mention of microplastics as well? Because I thought that was good and interesting. A lot more people are talking about it now, and it's everywhere. It really is quite hard to avoid depending on where you live and the sort of ways your foods are packaged. But there are simple things you can do. And one thing I noticed recently is chewing gum. I didn't even think of it. I didn't think about the fact that I was literally chewing on a piece of plastic. So I've completely removed all of those like traditional chewing gums, and I've got like vegan friendly, plastic free. That's all I've got now. I've replaced my pots and pans so they don't have forever chemicals, glass Tupperwares, don't buy from fast food places, or if I do, transfer it straight away into another container. But yeah, so because he was talking about that quite a lot and how it causes inflammation in the body and we just don't realize the extent of it. So it'll be interesting in a few years' time to see where that leads us as a society.